Hello, my name is Michael Butterfield. I'm going to start our group's presentation. I'm going to start by going over what is an open source firewall. So an open source firewall is firewall software that is open to the public for anyone to make modifications or edit the source code. This is designed to prevent malicious attacks from going on a computer. So it's basically a firewall, but you also have access to the source code. And so an example is IPFire. This software provides modularity, flexibility, and ease of management. It has a graphical user interface for easier user interaction, and it can be deployed as a firewall, a proxy server, or a VPN gateway. Another example is, I'm not sure how to say this, OPNSEMCE. It has a free BSD-based firewall and routing platform software, traffic shaping, intrusion detection, catching proxy, and easy OpenVPN. Client setup are some of the features this software offers. It also has a GUI interface which allows you to choose from, I'm not sure how to say this one either, LIBRE-SSL or OpenSSL. And another good example is EFW. This is a turnkey Linux system distribution that turns every system into a fully featured security appliance with UTM functionality. The software has been designed with usability in mind and is very easy to manage without losing flexibility. So that's that. Let's do so when, well, I guess this is Corbin Cornwall. And the thing that I researched was a lot of different firewalls that are open source, but I noticed something in particular about most of them is that they're all Linux based. But I don't have Linux, and so I was trying to find a Windows firewall, and I found Firewall PAPI, and it's pretty similar to the basic one that you get from Windows. The only thing is that you can't, well, let me just add one. So it's basically the same thing. You put in this source a IP address, and then the port. You can mask the IP address, and then the destination, same IP address and port. In the protocols, there's only 3 protocols that it can actually do, and actions it can only drop. I'm not too sure why, but I guess what I did, I actually did it on the Windows firewall. And so I went to the outbounds and I created a new rule, but I didn't really change anything. I just had it like open to all. Like, let's see if it'll go through to port. And then I actually went to all remote ports. And then this actually, and then I blocked the connection. This actually stopped me from going to a lot of websites, trying to pretty much just browsing around, just clicking on links and stuff. And that completely stopped me from actually going to the websites. And I thought that was really interesting. I'm not too sure why. I don't know much about firewalls and how they work, but yeah, so pretty much most of the firewalls that I found were Linux based. I actually tried to download the oh, what was it? It was in your last
or I guess it was in Melissa's stuff. I think it was IP Fire or something like that. I tried to download that, but I couldn't because I don't have a Linux operating system. So I guess that's what I found in my research about open source firewalls.
I ended up running into the same problem because for this class I just installed the Windows 7 virtual machine.
Right.
And I ended up running into Comodo firewall, if that's how you say it. Now this one, I was reading about it. This one I did get it to work on my Windows virtual machine. And I was reading on some forums somewhere where some guys were saying that it is open source. However, I personally was not able to find the source code for this firewall. So it might be open source, it might not. That might have just been some guys chatting on the internet, not knowing what's going on. But it seemed pretty easy, and it has some good tasks. It was a little more than a firewall, but part of the graphical user interface that I found on it had some firewall tasks. And some of the buttons you could click were like allow application, block application. And what these did is they would either open or close a port. And I'll show you kind of how all these buttons work as the presentation goes on. There's also a stealth ports, and what this does was it manages the PC's network visibility to other PCs. So you could make it so you're not showing up on other PCs' networks. And then there was a manage networks button. That basically just blocks or allows an entire network. And then there was a stop network activity. And when I was playing around with it, it seems sort of like an emergency just shut off everything feature, and it would just shut off all network activity and ports. So I'll start with the allow and block application feature. I have a little screenshot here. Basically what it would do is you click the button and it would open your file manager, and you could just click on whatever program you want to allow or block, depending on if you clicked on allow or block. And then it would block it using the ports. And then stealth ports. So basically I'd open this window. I played with this a little bit, and it says ports allow your computer to communicate with other computers in a network. By stealthing them, you may configure this computer's visibility to others. And then there was the block incoming connections button and the alert incoming connections button. So blocking, it blocks all incoming connections and makes this PC invisible to all computers. And the alert incoming connections button says let you decide when to make this PC invisible on a case basis by showing pop-up alerts. The other button that I was talking about was the manage networks button. So basically you click on it and it opens this graphical user interface. You can see it shows your PC. Mine's user 1 PC. And then it has like your IP address. I read mine out just because this is going to be on YouTube. And then it shows the network. I'm only connected to one network. So you could just like turn it on or turn it off. And then so if there's like multiple networks that your device is connected to, you could switch and toggle different ones that you want on or off. So pros and cons of Comodo firewall. It seems very easy to use. The graphical user interface was very friendly, and I feel like even someone without like IT knowledge, like if someone was told, hey, you need to go in and block a certain program through the firewall, like they could just open it up and do it. Like it was very clear and easy. Another pro is it's free, so that was pretty cool. I was able to download it on my virtual machine and play around with it and uninstall it. Free and easy. And cons, it seems really annoying. Like I installed it, and then once I did, I got like all these little pop-ups like on my desktop. There was like one in the corner, then it would always do these random scans, and I didn't know what it was doing, and it was doing all these updates, and yeah, stuff just kept popping up. And even like a few hours after I installed it, I'd still get these random little pop-ups telling me about my security or with ads and stuff or other features. And then also a con that I found is it tried to install unwanted browser add-ons. And for the most part, that's kind of just how it goes when you install anything on the internet that's free. I mean, you get all those ugly toolbars to go with it. So, I mean, you can unclick to have those installed, but that was just a con that someone who wouldn't know what they're doing would get all those, and it would change our search engine and anything. But for the most part, it seems like a decent firewall. And that's what I was able to find about that. And so I think that is all we have to present for today. If you guys have any questions, feel free to post some comments on our video in the discussion board, and we will do our best to answer them. Thank you.